welcome to episode 28 of the Knitty Heather podcast. My name is Heather and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington, where I live with my husband Tom and our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Pepper. This is my podcast where I chat all about everything I have on my needles, everything I've been working on knitting, and I also love to feature really fantastic makers out there in the fiber community. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I'm so happy you found me and I hope you enjoy yourself. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really, truly appreciate it. If you would like to follow me, I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I always love seeing what people are creating and sharing on Instagram. All of the yarn and patterns and accessories I talk about will be listed and linked in the description box below. Today is Saturday, May 29th, 2021, and I have a lot to share with you this week, so let's get started. Today I am wearing my Cubetcha shawl, I think that's how you say it, by Gusset. It is a classic garter crescent shaped shawl with these little cubes you do at the end every so often. Sort of like making a bauble. She gave you very specific instructions in the pattern on how to make these little cubes. The yarn I used was from a kit from A Good Yarn Sarasota, their Pearl Diver Club, back in 2017, and it is Kitty Bee Knitting Vlana Sota in the colorway Leopard Spot. There's a little bit of stellina. I don't know if you can see any of the sparkle, but really, really pretty colors. Some kind of teals and blues with some brownish gray kind of speckling in there. This was a lot of fun to knit. I do think I knit it shortly after I received this kit back in 2017. And like I said, it's pretty much just a simple crescent shaped shawl. If you wanted to completely omit the cubes, you could, and you just have a nice flat, beautiful garter crescent shaped shawl too. This would be an excellent pattern to show off one skein of really pretty fingering weight yarn. This is Cubetcha by Gusset, a true master designer of beautiful shawls. Today I am also wearing a vanilla pair of self-striping socks. I knit these last year and the yarn I used was Mustache yarn in the colorway Vespa. The pattern I followed is the Go Your Own Way socks by Stacy Winklepleck of Knit Picks. These were knit cuff down with about 15 rounds of a 2x2 rib, a traditional slip stitch heel flap and gusset, and a wedge toe. Now on to a little bit of happy mail. I received my summer sock camp yarn from Desert Vista Dye Works. I ordered her 2020 colorway. These colors are inspired by the logo that was designed for last year's summer sock camp. She was so kind to dye this colorway again this year. I missed out on ordering it last year. This is the 2020 colorway, and she also has a sock set this year for 2021. The mini has all kinds of beautiful yellows, reds, and oranges for a campfire. And then, as you can see, really pretty colors for the stripes. These are both self-striping, and then this will kind of just be a really cool variegated mini that I will use for toes, heels, and cuffs. And I think one of these stripes will kind of speckle, if I'm not mistaken, in this colorway. I think I'm going to choose to do my June Desert Vista Dye Works socks in the 2021 colorway and my July socks in the 2020 colorway, to use both summer sock camp colorways from Desert Vista Dye Works during summer sock camp hosted by Kaye, the crazy sock lady. One more look at these. Here's the 2020 colors and 2021. I am really excited to cast these on. Like I said, I think I will start with these for my June Desert Vista Dye Works socks. And I was able to sign up to be a VIP camper this summer, which means that I will get an exclusive new sock pattern from Kaye on June 1st, I believe is when she's going to send those out to us. So I'm kind of hoping that this will work for that new pattern. I'd love to try her new pattern out. Her patterns are always really beautiful. I believe Susan from Desert Vista Dye Works still has both of these colorways, or at least the 2021, in her shop still, in case you missed out earlier. These are the Summer Sock Camp 2020 and 2021 colorways from Desert Vista Dye Works. Now on to my finished objects. I have 2 pairs of socks and something extra special to show you today. These are my May Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I am participating in her 7th annual monthly sock club, where you knit a pair of socks every month using one of her colorways. She has hundreds and hundreds of awesome colorways in her shop. This is called Someday, and it was a set that came with the self-striping and a variegated mini using the same colors for heels, toes, and cuffs. I knit these one at a time on magic loop, and I did them toe up with the wedge toe, continued up the foot using the Vanilla Latte pattern by Virginia Rose Johns. I marked for an afterthought heel, continued up the leg, and did 12 rounds of 2x2 rib for the cuff. I just think these are such pretty colors. And even though I did these one at a time, I was able to match them up pretty darn well. I only did the patterning across the top of the foot and up the front of the leg. Next time I'll remember to continue it going around the back of the leg as well, but I think it looks fine how it is. This is the Vanilla Latte sock by Virginia Rose Johns, knit up in Desert Vista Dye Works Someday. My other pair of socks I was able to finish this week are my Rome socks by Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expat. This is from her Around the World in 8 Socks Club, where she sends out a pattern every month, inspired by a new city around the world. This month was Rome. Really pretty wrap stitch pattern across the front of the leg. You could have done it around the whole leg, but I did it just across the front of the leg and the top of the foot. I did a German short row heel. Started these with 20 rounds of the ribbing that she calls for. Continued down the leg, did my garter stitch, German short row heel, continued down the foot, and closed it up with the toe that she recommends. The yarn I used is from Lolo Did It's Downton Abbey Upstairs and Downstairs collection. This was from last December, and the mini was called Seduced, and the main color is called Indecent Proposal. Mina's sock patterns are just phenomenal. She is so detailed in how you do every single step, and then she has like 8 or 9 different sizes. I mean, she's got a ton of sizes. This was one of the medium sizes with a 66 stitch count. But look at how pretty this pattern is across the front, and even just on the back with stockinette. This yarn just knit up beautifully. These are the Rome socks by Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expat, knit up in Lolo Did It, Seduced, and Indecent Proposal. My last finished object is a smaller one, and it is the first of many of these Christmas balls that I would like to knit up using some of my leftover Desert Vista Dye Works yarn from months and months past. This was actually the first skein of hers that I ever knit up last January of 2020 for her monthly sock club. This is the colorway Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. The pattern I followed is the Orbit Ball pattern by Stacey Perry of Very Pink Knits. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I think Desert Vista Dye Works or any self-striping yarn really makes these look awesome. And you can knit these with any weight yarn. Just adjust the needle size and keep increasing until you think it is big enough. Then you do a few rounds of plain knitting and start decreasing. Very, very simple. The only fiddly part is starting out way at the bottom. You have so few stitches on DP ends, and it's a little hard to manage, but just take your time, take it slow, and it only takes a couple rounds for it to really get going. For this ball, using fingering weight yarn, I used a size 1 2.25 millimeter DP ends the whole time, and I kept increasing until all 3 of my needles had 32 stitches. So 96 stitches total. and I decreased to my starting number on top. My plan is to maybe string a ribbon through the top of this so that I can hang it like an ornament, but we'll see. It's really, really fun. I did fill it with polyfill. I know that you can knit these around like the plastic ornaments as well, but I had some polyfill left over, so I decided to use that on this one. And I think I'm gonna cast another one on right away. It was really, really fun. A really quick, almost instant gratification project. And I started putting the stuffing in when I had maybe about 9 or 10 stitches left on each needle. You can close it up pretty far. Just make sure you leave plenty of room to squish some polyfill in there. And just one more tip, you need probably 2 or 3 times more fill than you think. And you still kind of need to squish it around so that it is a ball shape. I think that would be one advantage to doing these around an ornament, is just that it would be perfectly round right off the bat. In her video tutorial she has on these on her website, verypink.com, she also says that you can put like a squeaker in there if you wanted a ball for your dog. And again, it is super adjustable. You can just increase however far you want to increase and then start decreasing. That's really all there is to it. So I'm looking forward to having a whole collection of these. I'll maybe keep some for myself and give some away as gifts for the holidays. But I think they just make for a really pretty ornament, or just something to hang on your cupboard door or something like that during the holidays. This is the Orbit Ball pattern by Stacey Perry of Very Pink Knits. Knit up in Desert Vista Dye Works, bed knobs and broomsticks. On to my works in progress. I have 2 socks that are very, very close to being finished, and I'm hoping that I will have them done by the time I record my next episode. The first is my Cozy Knitter socks. These are from her February Yarn of the Month Club. This colorway is called Let's Calibrate, and it came with a little red mini, a little blue mini, and a little green mini. I started these toe up on Magic Loop. I did these on a 32-inch circular, and then I started using my 9-inch circulars from ChiaoGoo. These are my red lace. I did the toe in the red, and I'm using this really pretty mane color that has all these different shades of gray in the stripes. Then I did a Fish Lips Kiss Heel with the blue, and now I just need to continue knitting up the leg so it matches my first sock, and then do 10 rounds of a 2x2 rib with this green mini. This is just a plain vanilla stockinette sock, and I'm really enjoying using these 9-inch circulars. It is probably a little bit easier to do the Fish Lips Kiss Heel if I had switched back to 32-inch circulars, but it's doable. It's just not as smooth as when you've got a little more cord to work with. My Progress Keeper is a little lady wooden Progress Keeper from Fangirl Fibers on Etsy. And I switched it to my sock sack from Mrs. Brown's Bags. I believe she has her own website now, mrsbrownsbags.com or something like that. I'll link it in the description below. I am loving these colorways, but I'm very anxious to get these done because I have 3 more club colorways that I have stockpiled since February. And they are all so pretty, and I'm just dying to cast them on. So I'm really excited to get these done so that I can cast on her next month's colorway. Her March colorway was very pretty as well. This is a vanilla sock using a Fish Lips Kiss Heel in the colorway Let's Calibrate by the Cozy Knitter. Next is my latest pair I have from Hypnotic Yarn and her Yarnable subscription. This was her March colorway. It is called Celtic Fairy. And here is my second sock. This is the Kaye Cables pattern by Sierra of All Knit Up Designs. I switched to a little rainbow cake Progress Keeper from Simply Serving on Etsy. And I have finished the leg on this. I did the pattern all around the leg. It's a twist stitch pattern that ends up sort of looking like a cable, but you don't need a cable needle. I did the heel flap and heel turn. I have picked up the gusset stitches, and now I am ready to start decreasing the gusset before I finish the foot and the toe. I will continue the pattern across the top of the foot and then just do stockinette along the bottom of the foot. I am using my Addi Turbo Sock Rocket needles, and I have this in my Wizard of Oz bag from Donna's Design Shop on Etsy. I'm really hoping to have this pair done by the time I record next as well. I am really anxious to cast on her April Yarnable colorway next. I started these with 12 rounds of a 2x2 rib, which led right into the pattern repeat. And it's a very fun 4-row repeat. I believe this is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is absolutely going to be super stretchy and I think fit really, really well. This is the Kaye Cables pattern by Sierra of All Knit Up Designs, knit up in Celtic Fairy by Hypnotic Yarn from her March Yarnable box. My last work in progress is my Hive Hat. This is a design by Kyle Konecki of Maker's Mercantile, and it was their April Hat of the Month Club pattern. As you can see, I'm already getting a little bit of a honeycomb pattern with this yarn. The yarn I'm using is Simplicity by Haiku. This is a 55% superwash merino, 28% acrylic, and 17% nylon blend. This colorway is called Hill Creek Gold. And the other color is Abracadabra by Haiku. This is 35% superwash merino, 50% polypropylene, and 15% nylon. This is the color number 723, and it will change to yellow a little bit when exposed to UV light, supposedly. Here's another look at the pattern. I did a 2x2 rib for the brim, and I've got it all bee themed. I have a bee progress keeper from Bump on a Hill on Etsy. And then in the Hat of the Month kit, it also came with a little honeycomb stitch marker that I'm using to mark the beginning of the round. And then I had to put it in my bee project bag from MLD Threads on Etsy. The needles I'm using are a size 5 Knitter's Pride Royale, my 16-inch interchangeable set. I think this is going to absolutely fly off the needles, and I'm very excited to have a good start on this. I will continue with this honeycomb pattern, and then I think as you do the crown decreases, it kind of stripes between the two colors. Here are the two colors in the cakes again. This is the Hive Hat by Kyle Konecki of Maker's Mercantile, knit up in Haiku Simplicity and Haiku Abracadabra. Well, I think that is about all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. It is almost time for Kaye the Crazy Sock Ladies Summer Sock Camp 2021, and I'm so excited. Please let me know in the comments below if you are planning on knitting anything for Summer Sock Camp. Let me know what patterns or techniques you want to try. I'd love to maybe try some of those along with you. Please don't forget to give this video a like, and it would mean so much to me if you would consider subscribing. And as always, let me know your thoughts about the podcast and any suggestions or feedback you may have. You may leave a comment below or message me on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I would love to hear from you. But until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.